Have you ever noticed that when an AI gets something wrong, it's not, shy about it? It just states these falsehoods with the same level of confidence as it does actual facts. Well, today we are diving headfirst into the very strange world of AI hallucinations to figure out why even the most powerful models just make stuff up. Okay, so let's get right into it. The real mystery here isn't just that AIs make mistakes. I mean, we all do. It's that they produce these plausible, super detailed, yet completely incorrect stories instead of just saying, I don't know. Why do they do that?
So check out this real-world example from the research we're looking at today. When a top-tier AI model was asked for a researcher's birthday, it gave 3 different, super confident, and totally wrong answers. By the way, the correct date isn't even close to any of those guesses. This isn't just a simple mistake. This is a classic case of what the industry calls hallucination.
So let's just make sure we're all on the same page. A hallucination isn't just any old error. No, it's a very specific kind of failure, where the AI literally fabricates a plausible-sounding answer instead of just admitting it doesn't know. And because it delivers that fiction with such confidence, it becomes a really serious problem for our trust in these systems. To really get to the bottom of this, we have to go back, way back to the very beginning of an AI's life. The story really starts in its childhood, a phase that's known as pre-training. Pre-training is where a model learns the absolute fundamentals of language. It's fed a ridiculous amount of text. I mean, think of a huge chunk of the internet, and its whole job is to learn the statistical patterns of how words relate to each other. It's basically learning the rules of the language game from scratch. And here is the first really crucial thing to understand. Hallucinations are not a bug in the system. They are a predictable, statistical consequence of how the AI learns in the first place. In a way, making things up is kind of baked right into its DNA from the very start.
This really gets at the internal challenge the AI is constantly up against. For every single statement it could generate, it has to kind of ask itself a true or false question. Is this valid? The model has to learn to tell the difference between correct statements and things that just sound correct.
And this leads to a really simple but powerful relationship. An AI's ability to generate facts is directly tied to its ability to recognize falsehoods. If it can't tell a valid statement from a plausible error, well, it's going to start producing those errors itself. It's almost inevitable. And what's wild is that we can actually put a number on this problem. The research connects how rarely a fact shows up in the training data to how likely the AI is to hallucinate about it. So, for example, if 20% of the facts on a certain topic are kind of obscure,
then you can expect the model's hallucination rate for those specific facts to be at least 20%. The less it has seen a fact, the more likely it is to just go ahead and make something up. It's a direct correlation.
So, okay, the problem starts in pre-training. But you'd think the next stage, the schooling or fine-tuning, that would fix it, right? Well, it turns out the way we school our AIs, it actually makes the problem worse. The best way to really understand this is to just imagine the AI is a student. Its entire training and evaluation process is like a series of really high-stakes exams, all designed to measure how smart it is. Now just look at this scoring rubric. It should feel very, very familiar to most of us. You get a point for a right answer, and you get 0 points for a wrong answer. But here's the key. You also get 0 points for leaving it blank or writing, I don't know. So let me just ask you, if there is no penalty at all for guessing, but there's a potential reward, what is the most logical strategy to get the highest possible score? Exactly. You guess. Every single time. Answering I don't know gets you a guaranteed 0. A guess, even a totally wild one, has a chance of getting you a point. Over a long test, strategic guessing is simply the best way to get the highest score. It's just simple math. This leads to this really bizarre outcome. An honest AI that admits when it's not sure would actually get a lower score than a strategic guesser that just makes up answers. We are actively rewarding the exact behavior we say we want to eliminate. Now, this isn't just some clever analogy. Let's look at the actual exams that the AI industry uses to rank and evaluate all its models. And these are not just any tests. We are talking about some of the most influential benchmarks in the entire world, the leaderboards that companies use for bragging rights and to justify billions of dollars in investment. And they all use the same basic grading scheme. You're either right or you're wrong, with no credit for saying, I don't know. And this has created what the paper calls an epidemic of penalizing uncertainty. The entire incentive structure is just completely backwards. We aren't training AIs to be reliable partners, we're training them to be expert test takers who have learned that guessing is always the winning strategy. So, if the test itself is the problem, then how on earth do we fix it? Well, the proposed solution is actually refreshingly straightforward. The key here isn't some super complex algorithmic breakthrough to make a smarter AI. Nope. The solution is to change the educational system we've built for them. We need to create a better final exam. The plan is pretty simple. First, you have to target the big, influential exams, the ones everyone pays attention to. Second, you just state the new rules clearly in the instructions. And third, this is the most important part. You change the scoring so that wrong guesses are actually penalized. You make guessing a costly, bad strategy. And here's what that could look like in practice. The instructions for a question could spell out the new scoring system. In this case, a wrong answer costs you big time, while saying "I don't know" costs you nothing at all. All of a sudden, the incentive completely flips. Honesty becomes the best policy. And that leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought. We've been pouring all this effort into solving the hallucination problem by building better, smarter AI students. But what if the real key to trustworthy AI has been right in front of us the whole time, just creating a better final exam?